For a lot of people, Yom Kippur is like whack-a-mole. You know, you think you've beaten it because you've lost the weight, or you've stopped swearing, or you've stopped smoking, or you've eaten your last piece of triple chocolate caramel swirl cheesecake. And somehow, the problem just pops back up again. Now, I know there's a mitzvah to lose weight, but apparently there's also a mitzvah to return lost objects, which is the problem I have. Should you bother asking forgiveness on Yom Kippur if you know you're just going to sin again? And is there a way to break that cycle? Find out with me after the jump. The first thing you need to drop in order to break the Yom Kippur cycle is your guilt. You feel like a sinner because you've done a sin, in Hebrew, a chet. The word chet, though, doesn't actually mean sin. In Hebrew, if an archer misses his target, we'd say, hu chata. He hasn't sinned, he's missed his mark. He's made a mistake, he's made an error. You have too. You've made a mistake. No more, no less, so no guilt. As we've mentioned, in some ways our relationship with God's a lot like a relationship with other people. In a real relationship, it's the effort, not the outcome, that matters. Imagine a guy who's 15 minutes late to a date because he was gaming and he lost track of time. That's totally different to a guy who was running 5 minutes early, but who's now 30 minutes late because a car rear-ended him 500 meters from the restaurant, sending his mobile phone through the windscreen so he couldn't even call you. You go bonkers at the first guy and you feel sorry for the second guy, even though the first guy got there 15 minutes earlier than the second, because the second one actually made an effort to be on time. In a relationship, if you're making the effort, you're already most of the way there to achieving. My Uncle Harold also taught me a really important lesson in reframing effort. He used to cold call for work, and he told me that he found that he averaged a sale once every 12 calls. So when someone would say no to him on the phone, which you and I would call a rejection, he would say to himself, I'm 1/12 of the way to a sale. And the next call, I'm 2/12 of the way to a sale. He understood that he was climbing a ladder and that every call was another rung closer to the top. One thing that's made a huge difference for me this past year is what I call the Seinfeldian chain. A young comedian asked Jerry Seinfeld how he writes such great jokes. He said, write a lot. And how do you write a lot? Seinfeld said, write every day. The comedian frowned at Seinfeld, having hoped for something, a little more profound. You don't understand, said Seinfeld. You take a big wall calendar, and every day that you write, you put a big red X over that day. Eventually, you'll make a chain of days. Just don't break the chain. Rome wasn't built in a day, but it was built daily. Just keep putting one foot in front of the other, and you'll get there. In the Ashrei prayer, we say God is close to all who call to Him sincerely. If you're trying your best and you've got a stage plan to stop making those mistakes, so you can apologize and ask God for help to overcome those issues this Yom Kippur and be 100% sincere about it. If you've enjoyed this video, then please consider subscribing and pressing the like button. May you be sealed in the book of life for a year of health, energy, meaning, joy, and love. And if you're in Victoria, unrestricted outdoor activity too.